Hello everyone, it's Leo and it's time to talk about episode 44 from Tropical-Rouge. I hope I do this episode justice because after watching it, my jaw dropped. I was not expecting Tropical-Rouge to go this route, but they really did and they really outdid themselves. Being able to watch this season is just the biggest joy. The theme of this season was worked so well in this episode. But anyways, let's start. Shongiri is there, the girls try to fight against it, but what matters here is that Summer breaks the jar that was holding the motivation, so the Fool's Casket won't be complete anymore. Summer is hit, she transforms, and the girls, with the help of little Elda, are able to escape and get to safety. This is the moment when Laura tells the whole story of the witch and the legendary cures to the girls. And it's a big moment indeed. I thought it was great that Minori had the role of asking about it, since she is the one that's the most interested in stories. And so Laura starts and we finally know what happened. The witch is a creature that was born to destroy the world. The way the queen said we'd never understand her reasonings is enough explanation for us to understand and for that to have the weight it needs for the emotional event the story's gonna have. It was also very poetic. So the witch tries to destroy the world, gets stopped by humans, and gets hurt. When she is suffering during her recovering phase, she meets a human called Onnet, who feeds her, takes care of her wound, and befriends her. I feel like there is one very important thing in this scene. Tropical-Rouge's theme is all about the present. It's about making every memory count, every encounter special. And that's what happened between those two. That special encounter, that little moment they spent together, was enough for a bond to be created, for emotions to be born. Tropical-Rouge does it so well. But the witch, she has the burden of being the creature that will destroy the world, so she has to do it nonetheless. She goes back to the sea and attacks again. That's when the mermaid world enters the equation and sends one of the mermaids to the earth so she could make a cure be born. First thing, the mermaid really looked like Yuriko. Tropical-Rouge robbed us with Yuriko as Cure Swan. And the mermaid queen from that time was very beautiful too. I wish we could have seen more of their designs. Second thing, was that a legend from Grand Ocean already? We won't learn about that probably. And so Onnet turns into Cure Oasis, but she didn't know that that creature she nurtured and befriended was the one who was destroying everything and was gonna be her enemy. Before we get into the Onnet versus Witch topic, let's talk about Cure Oasis. It was very surprising that she had a transformation sequence. Green is such a beautiful color and her design is my absolute favorite from this season. She is one of the prettiest cures ever. I think her transformation was graceful. It doesn't have the quality level of a regular transformation, but we rarely get scenes like that for legendary cures, so I am super happy. Thank you, Toei Animation. I also loved her little fighting scenes, seeing her use the elephant and the whale in her attack. Very smart usage of the powers she gave to our Tropical-Rouge girls. And then we get to the actual moment, the battle. It was clear both of them were suffering because they had to fight each other. I was very sad to see them fight too, but the witch seemed to have that weight on her shoulders, and she couldn't stop her mission, her destiny. She had to destroy the world. There was no other place for her in the world if she were not the Witch of Destruction. This is so meaningful in so many ways that I feel like not knowing more about this is enough so that we can put it into our own visions of the world and our own experiences of the world. Sometimes we get put into boxes and we can't really get out of them. And for us to get out of those boxes is so painful. And even when we can get out of those boxes, we have to give up so much. So I really liked this aspect of her being the girl or the one to destroy everything. And Oasis had to protect the world. She had to protect her loved ones. She had to protect humanity, society in general. But their bond was already cemented. So when the witch decided in that scene under the moonlight before she fought against Cure Oasis to go back to the ocean so she could stop destroying the world, so she could keep on destroying the world, she didn't break free of her destiny. But in this second time, she decided to go back to the sea again, delaying the fact that she had to fight against Allnet once more. And so, when she decided to stop the fight against Cure Oasis and continue on the next day, it was the only way she could fight against her destiny at that moment. She didn't know another way of breaking free of who she needed to be. So, by turning into the Witch of Delays, she found a way of breaking her destiny. And I loved how time played such a big part in this. She had to destroy the world, but for that, she had to fight against her only friend. And so, the destruction turned into delay. It's easier to delay dealing with your feelings than actually dealing with your feelings. The delay was so big that she ended up forgetting what she was delaying. So poetic once more. And the clock cracking to symbolize time stop. Time has stopped passing for the witch, because if it did pass, she would suffer. And it got to a point that so much time has passed that the legendary cure didn't even exist anymore. We humans die, but the creatures of the sea, in the Tropical-Rouge story, have way longer lifespans than us humans. Look, her story, both of their stories, were quite an emotional ride for me. I absolutely loved every second about it. And then we come back to present time. The witch remembers everything. Elda and Numidi talk about the world ending and how it wouldn't be a good thing. That was such a sweet scene. The girls defeat Shongire and Aneda in the easiest way possible. Thankfully, because I didn't want to see Shongire suffering. Thankfully, it was very easy. And then the witch finally gets out of her bed. She gets out of her bedroom and she attacks. The witch, when she appeared full of motivation, enchanted Butler. And we can really see that he fell in love with that version of the witch, that powerful creature that would destroy the world. And he would do everything in his power to serve her. And he really did. But let's talk more on that later. The witch confronts the girls. They try to talk to her. Coral did a good job with her shield, girl. Yes, queen. But the witch was too strong for them, but not strong enough for Summer's motivation. And not only her motivation. Summer was consistently the one to receive Oasis's messages throughout the season. So it was nice that they had this little moment and Summer reassured her that things would be nice. And her standing up and confronting the witch, what a scene. The animation couldn't follow what was supposed to be a badass scene, but it was still very good because of the message it carried. Summer really said everything the witch needed to hear. She wasn't delaying the destruction of the world. She was delaying the fact that she needed to admit to herself that she wanted to be friends with Allnet. She was not brave enough to deal with her feelings. And the way Oasis embodied on Summer, I loved it. When the witch finally gave into her emotions and decided to actually share her heart and started crying, it was such a huge moment for me. I love when big villains are able to deal with their emotions. And this time, it was all about a very special friendship, a connection she had with someone that happened in a moment, but lasted longer than a lifetime. Cure Oasis is already dead, and the witch was probably delaying her death too. Because if we think about everybody that was alive during her run, they are already dead, except for Butler. We don't see the mermaids that were the queen and regular mermaids from that time in Grand Ocean now. So it probably means that it's been a long... And we know by the state of society that a lot of time has passed. So it was time for her to get back to present time and accept death. And she did. Allnet's embrace turned her into bubbles, and they were able to live forever in eternity. Good for you, Allnet. You finally got the girlfriend you fought so hard for. And the fact that she turned into bubbles, or sea foam, is very meaningful. There is a lot of inspiration and subversion of the Little Mermaid in the Tropical-Rouge story. So this fact that she turned into sea foam is from that story. It's kind of like a homage to that. I really liked it. And when Kira Oasis turned around and thanked Summer and the girls, Manatsu asked her what her name was. That moment brought me to tears. Honestly, this episode was so Manatsu to me. She is such a strong lead. She is the soul of the season. This moment served to crown this episode as one of the best for me. But well, we still have to deal with Butler. All his admiration and devotion for the queen, all for nothing. So he took matters into his own hands and became a super scary version of himself. He is super scary and I love his monster design. And as for Butler, I really like that he is not the villain or someone who was pulling the strings behind the scenes. I've been suspecting him in the start, but after a while I could understand that he cared about the witch. This episode showed that he cared because he had that crazy admiration for the destruction part of the witch. But he stood by her when she turned into the Witch of Delays nonetheless. And I think that his role as the big boss is really fitting. It would not fit the witch. And one more thing. Scared Kururun eating cookies. Oh no! Anyways, next week things will get serious because it's the last battle of the season and the Oasis will probably appear one more time. What an episode. Episode 44, thank you for existing. I really, really enjoyed every second of it. What an emotional ride. Thank you so much, Tropical-Rouge. Anyways, guys, please leave a comment with your opinions. Let's keep talking about this amazing episode in the comment box below. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. But a special thank you to the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very, very much for all the support that you give me. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye!